Good afternoon. This is Jim Whitehead of All Power Group. I hope you're having a good day today. We try to have good days every day. Now, today, to be fair, besides all my different wonderful animal opportunities that I love doing, I also, as I did yesterday, I do a series called Politics in the Middle, and it's more trying to emphasize some of the weird things going on right at the moment. In the sense where you try not to be mean, and that's why I say politics in the middle. You're kind of trying to, balance between things that are happening, things that are real, things that are not real. Well, the kind of brainstorm this morning was I'm saying, wait a minute, what about all the animals, or especially the dogs and cats that get in the middle of the stress-related worrying that we all have gotten into in the last almost 2 months, month and a half? So this is kind of a description to try to help you with your actions so that your animals don't get all stressed out also, because they don't understand. They will understand, and they will know this confusion, fear, anger, but, in a lot of cases, they might even take it personally. So as we love our animals, we want them to hopefully get through this with us without them being emotionally harmed. While your dogs and cats don't understand the complexities of political discourse, and they're lucky they don't have to, or election results, they are highly sensitive to their environment, and most importantly, to the emotional state of their owners. Now you can see the pictures is depicting a storm has come up, and animals are very afraid of storms, but especially of thunder. Our Jamie is wonderful. Yeah, and we have to really help her get through, when there is a very bad storm. Yeah, and, you can't say to them, don't worry, we're in a safe house and nothing's going to happen. Okay, a negative or stressful political situation can affect your pets indirectly in several ways. Now, owner's stress. If you, and what you're seeing is, and I walk Jamie every morning. And if for some reason there's something weird in the morning or rain, she will get her walk sometime during the day. I don't want to sound like I'm a creature of habit, but I am, for her sake. Because she's 11 years old, and, having them lay on the couch all day isn't good for anybody. I exercise every day, so they exercise every day. So what happens is, you can see, with trying to keep them on a schedule that they're used to, it might help them get through this. And you love them so much, and they don't always understand. Even though they're very, very smart, they don't understand, Jim, or my case, my wife, 24, they're all stressed out because of a political scary time. No, they'll just think maybe we don't love them anymore, or they did something wrong and they don't know what it was. So anyway, the owner's stress is contagious. Pets are incredibly attuned to human emotions. If you're feeling stressed, anxious, angry, or upset due to political climate, your pet will likely pick up on it through their body language, tone of voice, or even changes in your scent. So, in other words, dogs especially can smell stress hormones like cortisol. So, when I get stressed, you get stressed. And I didn't know this. This is why I love doing my YouTube presentations. I learn along with you, and that's I kind of best of both worlds. And the point here is we're trying to really stress, make sure your animals, or be cognizant of the fact that your animals are going to stress out if you're stressed out. But you and I know why we're stressed. They won't, and they'll take it personally. Anyway, okay. Studies have shown that dogs in particular can mirror the long-term stress levels of their owners. Your stress can become their stress. And, especially in the case of a political stressor, which we certainly are in, whether you're on one side or the other side, everything is upside down, hard to understand. It makes no sense. So our stress, they will feel the same way, which is pretty scary to say. Now, if you change their routine, and that's where I was showing you with the walking, if you all of a sudden stop walking them, they'll think something's wrong. So anyway, dogs and cats thrive on routine. If your stress or preoccupation with political situation causes changes in their feeding times, walk schedules, play time, or the amount of attention they receive, it will lead to anxiety and confusion for them. Changes in your work schedule, perhaps related to economic impacts influenced by politics. And we all worry, most of my income right now, and I'm trying to change that, I'm 75, is Social Security. And if anybody, unless they just came from another planet, they would recognize there's been so much spoken about, they're going to kill Social Security, they're going to kill this, they're going to do that. And, you can't sit there and go, I know it's not going to happen. So it definitely is a stressor, and you can translate that into your pets. Also, simply being less present emotionally can disrupt their sense of security. So they are so in tuned to how we're acting. And again, they will not feel right, and they will take it very, very, very personally. And yes, unfortunately, you can't talk to them. Say, don't worry about it. It's going to be good. So, if you have what we call a tense home environment, loud voices during political discussions, arguments, or agitated reactions while watching the news can create a sense, a tense atmosphere that frightens pets. It's almost like a thunderstorm. They're like, oh my God, what's that noise? It's scaring me, and I am afraid. So they may not understand the words, but they feel the negative energy. In fact, they can basically sense it even better than we can. So manifestations of stress in pets. When pets experience stress, it can manifest in various behavioral physical ways, including behavioral changes, increased hiding. Now that's what you're seeing here, is they both, and in this case, that they have each other, which that in itself does help them, both of them, but they still are looking at you like, what is wrong? So they would have a tendency maybe to hide, or clinginess, vocalization, barking, meowing, destructive chewing, scratching, changes in appetite, eating more or less, house soiling accidents, excessive licking or grooming, pacing, restlessness, or even aggression. So, there they are, they're trying to find a safe place to be away from Big Bad Jim and Big Bad 24, even though we're not trying to be bad, but there are things that definitely do stress us out. So some of the other physical signs: panting when not hot, trembling, dilated pupils. And, the scary part with dilated pupils, when I was in respiratory therapy and we were working what they call a code blue, one way of looking at whether the patient was doing, when we were trying to save their life, if they were doing okay, or if we looked at their eyes and we saw that they were what we call fixed and dilated, unfortunately, they were on their way out. Another sign is flattened ears, tucked tail, yawning, licking, or shedding more than usual. Chronic stress can even contribute to health problems like gastrointestinal issues or a weakened immune system. So they really, really negatively get affected by how, in this case, my wife and I are acting. And yeah, we've had a lot of stresses in the last almost 2 months, as I said. Not necessary, totally unnecessary, but it's happening. So you have to recognize the situation. Okay, while your dogs and cats don't understand the complexities of political discourse or election results, they are highly sensitive to their environment and, most importantly, to the emotional state of their owners. A negative, stressful political situation can affect your pets indirectly in several ways. Owner's stress is contagious, and that works with all of us, that we can certainly pick up a stress issue with what's going on, and that is transmitted big time to our animals. Pets are incredibly attuned to human emotions. If you're feeling stressed, anxious, angry, or upset due to the political climate, your pet will likely pick up on it through their body language, tone of voice, and even changes in your scent. And as I mentioned, dogs can smell stress hormones. And it shows that, dogs especially in particular can mirror the long-term stress levels of their owners. Your stress can become their stress. Because, they love you so much, and they want to make sure that you're okay and that they're okay with you. So again, dogs and cats thrive on routine. If your stress or preoccupation with the political situation causes changes in their feeding times, walk schedules, playtime, or the amount of attention they receive, it can lead to anxiety and confusion for them. Impacts influenced by politics or simply being less present emotionally can disrupt their sense of security. So, Loud voices, political discussions, arguments of agitated reactions while watching the news can create a sense of atmosphere that frightens pets. They may not understand the words, but they feel the negative energy. When pets experience stress, they can manifest various behavioral, physical ways, including, as I mentioned earlier, hiding, vocalization, and you're seeing, where they're either barking or making with the cat some form of displeasure by, I'm going to say speaking out, but you know what I mean. What's their appetite? So bottom line, it's just one of those things where it just can be very, very, very a problem to them and to their health. So how to mitigate the effects? Manage your stress. Okay, that's easy to do, right? But just be cognizant that they are going to pick up on a happy time, an unhappy time, or a stressful time. So, easier said than done, but you've got to try to protect them. And it would be the same with little children that you can't explain things to, that they would say, what's going on with my mom and dad? Since your emotional state is a primary factor, finding healthy ways to manage your own stress related to the political situation is beneficial both for you and your pet. Spending quality time with your pet, petting, playing, can actually help lower stress levels for both of you. And that's true. I mean, when I'm with my Jamie, it's like, I don't want to say the world is good, but it is. And it does kind of help you get centered, if I can say it that way. Try to stick to your pet's regular schedule for feeding, walks, and playtime as much as possible. Consistency provides security. Create a safe place, and you've seen that in the pictures, where the pet can be quiet, comfortable, and a retreat in the household becomes noisier sense, tense. Consumption, be aware of your reactions and volume levels when consuming news or having political discussions around pets. If you're watching television and they say to you, yada, 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 and you negatively react, you're not negatively reacting to them. You're negatively reacting to the TV and what you're seeing on the TV. They don't know that. I really wish they could understand that, they're just watching TV and that's why they're reacting. No, they don't know. And you've got to give them positive reinforcement. Focus on positive interactions, training, and providing enriching activities like puzzle toys to keep their minds engaged positively. In short, while the political situation itself doesn't directly impact your pets, your reaction to it and the resulting changes in your emotions and household environment certainly can. Paying attention to their well-being and maintaining a stable, reassuring environment for your pets is key. I'm going to be honest about something when you talk about a safe and happy environment. And I'm telling you something a little bit, maybe I shouldn't, but I grew up in a very stressful household. My mother was wonderful. My father was not. He had a lot of problems. And he would take it out on me. And as I think about it every night when I go to bed, and I say my prayers, I recognize how wonderful my mother was and how she did everything to try to protect me from this terrible stress in the household. Her motto was, and I always felt bad for her because she was, she's a saint. And I know you're going to say, well, most people think their mother is great, but my mother was. And her motto, as I started to say, it is or was peace at any price. She would say it all the time. And I know she was saying to herself, even though I'm not happy with the way things are going in our home, I'm going to protect Jim. And she did her very, very, very best. And I thank her every night. Because I'm not saying here, I'm not saying to you that, oh yeah, I'm rock solid. Yeah, we all have issues growing up. And in some cases, you see it in some of the shows we watch, and one of them is the FBI. Most of the time, you see the people that are being bad had something in their background that was a stressor that, like, lucky me, I didn't grow up in the sense that I was mean and angry at the world. And that's the good news. And you can't really even relate and understand why another person at the same age that I was when I went through this might grow up as being a mean, awful person and translate or put that into their relationships that they have for the rest of their life. Now, the last thing I say with animals, they have a relatively short life, and you want to make sure you're doing the very best to give them the best life that you can afford them. Because they give you so much love and caring. They make you laugh. They make you feel happy. So I hope this helps a little bit where you can relate with all the things that are going on politically, that try not to translate it or push it on your dogs, cats, or children. Anyway, dogs and cats in the middle. Help them not be in the middle and feel like they've done something wrong. We love them so much. Take care, and thank you for being here.